What's up, guys? I got another video. It's been a little bit. I had to do some research after reading this comic. I was confused about some stuff, and I also went to the comic book store and I bought a boatload of comics. I bought some indie comics, some weird comics, just tons of stuff. Don't mind my floor. It looks like I need to vacuum a little bit, but let's just get started, I guess. So, to start, this cover, fake news. This is not, we do possibly get to see Tony Stark in this, but the whole, here lies Tony Stark, basically him saying, I'm not dead. Look at me. Look how badass I am. That is definitely not part of it. This comic is boring, and it brought up some feelings in me because I have read the previous two of these Invincible Iron Mans, and they were meh. I did a video on one of them. So we start off, we see like Tony Stark with some person outside. Or we assume it's Tony Stark, right? And there's someone basically talking to him. And they say, Tony Stark, or it says, good morning. Tony Stark continues his medically unexplained prolonged state of unconsciousness. Whatever that means. I'm guessing, like, since it can't be explained medically, his coma is a result of, I don't know, some sage and essential oils, since, you know, it can't be explained medically and all. I'm just kidding, but I think I have a theory that I'm going to give at the end to this medically explained coma and what's going on, and it has to do with Tony's AI. I'm sure I'm not the first person to think of this theory, but I'll get into it. Friday, this is Friday, she's like some hologram or some shit, and something like that. Sorry, there's going to be cursing in this, for anybody that doesn't like that. She basically talks about Tony's went into a coma for some reason, and that Riri's now Ironheart, and how awesome Riri is. Although, Friday, being like the only logical person in this comic, is like, I don't know if I trust Riri or not. So there's that. That's the plus side. Friday's the only person in this that's not like just a fangirl. Since she has no, she's a computer program, so she doesn't have to deal with societal pressures and just has to accept Riri as the new Iron Man. Because diversity. So computer programs don't understand diversity, and I guess that's why she's not just totally all about Riri. Then she talks about Dr. Doom and how he's basically wearing an Iron Man suit and trying to do good stuff. And she talks about Tony's AI. So, and they say Tony's AI is what's helping Riri, and it's starting to get kind of glitchy, which I'm gonna talk about that. So we get this party. It looks like a party. It's really a science expo. Tony Stark, his thing where he, I don't know, tries to find scientists, I guess. It's like a big science fair, and this is Tony's biological mom. She like set it up with Mary Jane. And she starts getting all emotional about stuff. She's talking about Tony would have wanted this to happen, and she gets really personal about like that people might know that I just found Tony or whatever. I just like met him as an adult after he was adopted. Or she also says like a weird line about one of his moms, because can't not validate his adopted mom, but she also has to get credit for creating Tony. Then we meet this guy. He's white in a suit, so he's the villain. He looks rich and white, so he's a bad guy. We know that from the start. Mary Jane's all excited. And they have this girl speak. Go girl. I hate that. Who does that? Like, are all women teenagers as adults? Like, I feel this is like written by someone that's never met a woman, or never met an adult woman, like a real adult woman, like someone that's professional. Mary Jane is like supposed to be this professional woman, right? Highly capable, and yet she behaves like a teenager. I don't get it. Riri comes in because Iron Man usually comes in with his new suit. Riri comes in. She's like, "Oh, this is my first applause. I'm sorry. Did I miss something? Is she not? Does she have split personalities? Because I'm pretty sure everywhere she goes, everybody's like, oh my god, it's Riri. Yeah, Riri, can I get a photo? Look how great Riri is." I mean, even our friends, Tony Stark's mom's like, "Oh, yeah, my son's in a coma, but thank God we have Riri. She's so great." And Mary Jane's like, "Oh my gosh, you're so beautiful, Riri." Literally, them two clapped for her in the last issue. So, I don't get what she's talking about. Then Tony's AI is like, "Don't get your head too big, whatever." And then she basically says, "Well, I want to enjoy it." Then this guy talks about he's on the board for and he says that Amanda is Tony Stark's mom. Basically tells Mary Jane that she's gonna have to fire Amanda because he doesn't want them to run in the company into the ground and siphoning funds away. And so she gets all hurt about that. He starts being like, sexist, where he's like, "Oh, girls can't put this together. How'd you put this together? You're just a model. You're supposed to just be pretty." And he even says that Tony hired her because she's pretty, which we saw like in a previous last issue that, from a long time, Tony's been trying to get in her pants. So here's why I had to, somewhere on this page is why I had to go look at, right here. This is what I had to do some research about. He says Tony Stark is supermodel girlfriend. So is Mary Jane like Tony Stark's girlfriend? If so, that drives me nuts. It drives me nuts because what is Marvel has to ruin relationships. Like Spider-Man, Mary Jane, Peter Parker, Mary Jane, like that's like the perfect couple, right? They're supposed to be like a perfect couple. Now I know like there was some deal that had to be made, where to save Peter Parker's aunt, like the marriage got taken out of all canon, like. So it just was erased. Now, I heard someone say previously, like a week or so ago, that Marvel prides themselves on never having to do a universe reset. To which I say, that is not something to be proud of. If you keep having to do things that totally erase stuff so that you can keep continuity, that's not something to be proud of. Just reset the whole universe. Shit is falling apart. Everything's falling apart. Just erase it. Like, if you have a cosmic cube that can totally erase stuff and, create a whole new Iron Man or bring an Iron Man from the past or whatever it was that happened in Secret Empire, that is basically resetting the universe in a weird way, in one little way. Reset the entire universe, and that's what should have happened. If you wanted to introduce the new characters, reset the whole new universe, tell their story, tell us why they're interesting, change it around. Give them new stories, give them new reasons for their existence, why they became superheroes. Spider-Man doesn't always have to be have the same story, or Bruce Banner, Iron Man. It doesn't have to be exactly the same. Reset the universe. Keep the essentials the same with new people if you want. Or just make an alternate universe. I don't know. But don't be proud of never having to reset your universe, because like DC has done. Just do it. Reset it and then do everything. Tell new stories. Start from the beginning, because that would help these new characters like Riri, I think. You would get a lot of backstory stuff leading up. You can give them problems. They're not just inheriting some superhero persona, and that superhero has already done all the hard stuff. So I don't know. They need to do that. And whatever. So that drives me nuts. And if I'm done, I want Mary Jane and Peter Parker together. I don't know for what reason, but I don't think that, Mary Jane's one of the best women in Marvel Universe. And she was loyal, whatever. From everything I know, obviously I haven't read every Spider-Man, but from being a kid, Spider-Man was one of my favorites. And, Mary Jane was that. Mary Jane was Peter Parker. I don't know. Them together makes Spider-Man, and it bugs me. Don't give Tony Stark Mary Jane, because, I don't know, he's already rich and powerful. I don't know. That bugs me. So then we get Doctor Doom comes to Riker's Island, where there's a big breakout. Doctor Doom is wearing Tony Stark's armor. And he basically brought a bunch of prisoners here. And the prison couldn't hold them all, and they broke out. I forgot to say, at the end of this, basically she gets an alert on her phone that there was an emergency in New Jersey. So apparently this guy was right. They can't run the company together. I don't know. Some bad shit's happening, I guess. And Doctor Doom flies in. These dudes just start hugging each other, all weird, from Doctor Doom's presence. So maybe there's something to do with the armor, or something's wrong with Doctor Doom to where that's what made him a nice guy. I think this is another one of those things that they're doing so that they don't have to do a reset, right? Doctor Doom's a hero right now. People don't trust him, though. Doctor Doom's a hero, though. But now we see that something's going on. These guys are all really lovey-dovey. Now, an average person, if you put a lot of the love or empathy or whatever into them, then they become real lovey. But Doctor Doom might just become a hero. He's not. I don't know. So I think that's what's happening. I honestly don't know what's going on with Doctor Doom. And we know it's Doctor Doom that did this to these guys, and they just didn't randomly start hugging, because when he leaves, they get kind of weirded out. The Thing comes. He basically tells Doctor Doom, Doesn't matter what happened or what you do now. All those years you've been a villain, that this doesn't change that. Which makes sense, I guess. But if you don't allow people redemption, then are you any better than them, I guess? Well, I'm sure you are. You're not killing people. But people should be allowed to redeem themselves. Like, the Thing could actually be pushing this dude back into evil. I don't know. He basically goes into a big thing and says you'll never be as good as Reed Richards, which is Mr. Fantastic, if you don't know. And talks about how this little boy inside him is basically making him improve, but even with that little, everybody has that voice that tells them to do the right thing, and Dr. Doom's been ignoring it forever. And now he's just going to answer that call, I guess. So this basically, I imagine, hurts Dr. Doom. He disappears. Then the guys get all weirded out about that they're just hugging. And, alright, sorry about that. These dudes get weirded out there hugging. Except this guy, he's like, I kind of liked it. And then can I get another hug? And then they're like, get it together. Whatever. Then it comes back to them. They're trying to figure out where Tony Stark went. Basically, he's a spy and stuff. He got chipped like a dog. Then we get this guy. Crawls out of a vat thing. Or like a little laying thing. He crawls over, struggles over to the Iron Man suit. Puts it on, right, and he looks like he's in a lot of pain putting this on. We assume this is Tony Stark, and then he like lays in the fetal position, after he gets the suit on. He made all that. He's like, oh, it's so painful, my emotions. But if that is, like, we can see that he's all bald and stuff, and so if that is Tony Stark, then who's this guy? Or is this beard and mustache and stuff drawn on? I don't know. This must just be drawn on the glass. And, okay, so to my theory, or hypothesis. My hypothesis is that Tony Stark got put into a coma after transferring his consciousness into his AI. And he had to do that because maybe he was going to retire from being Iron Man or what, something to that effect. And he needed to see how Riri would do as Iron Man, or his replacement, who happened to be Riri. And then he needed to do that, but put his consciousness inside his AI so that he could observe and see if he did the right thing, and if he made the wrong choice, then he could just put his consciousness back into his body and continue as Iron Man. Maybe he saw that that Riri's a piece of shit. Maybe he saw that Riri sucks, and he's trying to get his consciousness back into his body, but something's going wrong. And maybe that's what's causing his AI to glitch out. He's like trying to get back. But that would also make sense to why Riri's such a terrible character. Like, maybe she's supposed to be a terrible character. Maybe Tony Stark comes back into his body, his consciousness goes back into his body, and then Riri gets all mad that he had been spying on her and didn't trust her, and he's like, well, yeah, you made all these mistakes. It's a good thing that I didn't do that, because shit, you took over a country and all that bullshit. And this turns her into a villain, and she like keeps one of his suits and becomes a villain. I don't know. All in all, this book's terrible. It's boring. More girl power. sexist white man, all that good stuff. You know, all the good stuff that's in modern day Marvel Comics and in modern day society as a whole. And, you know, this is just a reflection of what people think in society. So, let me know what you think of this video. If you like it, give it a thumbs up. If I missed something, let me know in the comments. I'm going to be giving away... I'll give you this comic. Well, that wouldn't be really a gift to give you just this comic, this digital comic. I think Marvel knows that too, because the free comic in this one is like this comic and then someone from the 1970s remastered. So, that's what I'll be giving away. Let me know if you want it in the comments. There's still someone... I've been checking my emails, and someone was supposed to send me an email to claim one of them. If you don't want this comic, then let me know. I'll send you a bunch of the free comics that I have, and you can pick out which one you want. So, subscribe if you want more. Hit the notifications if you want to get notified when I drop a video, since I'm so inconsistent. I don't have no schedule. But thanks for watching, guys. Oh, I forgot something at the end. This is racist. This white girl has a small butt. Not all white girls have small butts. That's racist. But this just goes into Tony Stark and Riri. I forgot about that. Also, they call Riri's thing an invention. That's not an invention. That's a copy. That's not an invention. Someone invented that. That's a replication, not an invention. Let's get it together. And talks about, oh, she's the great Ironheart. All right. Thanks, guys.